Hi there and welcome back to my channel. This is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video we're discussing S is for Silence, written by Sue Grafton. It's book 19 in the Alphabet Murder series. Yes, book 19. So a very long running series, and I'm going through all the books in the series. There's 25 in total because unfortunately Sue Grafton did pass away before she finished book Z, book 26. So the alphabet does end in Y, but this book, there was a structure change in the way this book's written, and I didn't enjoy that structure change. It's not the best mystery for me, not the best in the series, even though the mystery itself, the main mystery, was okay and the characters were still written very strong. The structure change, the way we go in the past for many chapters, and we get POV from different characters in the book in the past as well. I prefer when this series is from the POV of Kinsey all the time, Kinsey being the main character. I think that changed structure, having the POV of people tied up into this mystery, and this book is based on a cold case as well. And again, it's another cold case in this series, but in my eyes, that POV change, also POV from the victim and different suspects in the book in the past, ruined the read for me. Kinsey's asked by a friend to help out another friend, so it's a friend of a friend. This person, Daisy, wants to know what happened to her mother. Her mother vanished about 30 or so years ago, so it's very, very old, this case. All the events take place in this town called Serena Station, which is a very small town. It was small at the time, it's even smaller now. And over 30 years ago, there's not much to go on in this case, so who knows what Kinsey's going to find out. But she's getting paid to work 5 days, a full 5 days, so it's money she can't turn away from. That's, I think, the main reason why Kinsey takes this case. I can't think of another reason. Maybe that, and she likes a challenge. Kinsey always likes a challenge, and she always thinks the bigger the challenge, bigger the glory in her eyes, I think. There's not much evidence to go on in this case. There's people to talk to, basically, and the woman's name is Violet, the person who went missing 30 years ago. And whenever Kinsey talks to people about Violet, they have the same opinion on this person. Over 30 years ago, Violet was a bit wild. She was a bit electric. She was different than other people in this small town. And she was asking for trouble in some people's eyes as well. People keep saying she was having affairs left, right and centre. And her husband was violent at the time, and so was she a bit. They had fights all the time, verbal fights, physical fights. They weren't nice to each other. And the child, the daughter, who's alive now, Daisy, lived through this and witnessed some of that as well. But I think Daisy was maybe 7 or 8 or something when Violet went missing. So Daisy doesn't have that many memories of her mother that she can rely on. She has memories of certain fights, she has memories of her mother doing certain things, but she has a lot of rumours in her mind as well. So it's hard to know if her memories are based on what she remembers all the time from her childhood or what she remembers of rumours. And of course, being so old, this case won't be easy to solve. It's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of digging, a lot of conversations with people, and a lot of luck. And that's what this book feels like, basically. It feels like this case is sold on luck more than anything else. And it's okay, some cases are. But in this series, Kinsey hasn't relied on luck a lot in other books in this series. But in this book, it seems luck is the main thing that solves this case. And I didn't really appreciate that in this book. I do prefer when Kinsey does hard work and finds all the clues and answers herself, doesn't rely on luck so much. I didn't like the structure of this story. I didn't like the switch between past and present in the storyline. In the past, it's all POV from different characters from the past, including the victim. And I didn't enjoy that. It pulled me out of the story a lot. It pulled me away from Kinsey a lot in this book. And I don't think the past chapters added much to the story anyway, because information that Kinsey can't use. Kinsey doesn't know what's going on in the past storyline. What's it mean that we've got it there in the first place? How does it relate to the present storyline in Kinsey's investigation? There's no link there. All it is learning a bit more about the people in the past. And I don't know if we need that much detail to actually need whole chapters, many chapters in the book based on the past, just to get a bit more info on different characters from what they were like in the past. Also, at the end, the culprit came out of nowhere for me. It felt like a rabbit pulled out of a hat. There was no link to Kinsey's investigation, her hard work, and finding out who the culprit was. And I think it's the second time it's happened in this series, so it's very rare in the series to happen that way, but I find it much stronger when the culprit is revealed in a meaningful way, when it's linked to Kinsey's investigation, when she finds out the truth, or someone confesses to her because she's digging and pushing for that. But when it comes out of nowhere, out of left field, it doesn't make sense. I don't appreciate that in this series. Still, of course, the mystery is strong. The characters are strong as well. Although at times it felt like I was watching an episode of Dallas. There was so much drama and things going on in the past storyline. It felt like a soap opera more than a mystery novel. And that change as well pulled me out of the story a bit, because it just felt different. Atmosphere was different. The whole feel of those chapters were different to the mystery and the investigations going on in the present day storyline. So I don't know why it was structured like this. And it makes me wonder what's going on in Sue Grafton's mind that she decided to change the way the books are structured in the series. In a long-running series, it's hard to decide on characters, what character to talk about in each video. In a standalone book, it's easy. The main characters get a mention. In a series, which is the first or second book in a series, the main and the main support characters get a mention. But in book 19, who do I talk about? So I'm going to focus on people who just appear in this book. First is Daisy, and Daisy's the daughter of the person who went missing over 30 years ago. She's a good character. I think she's designed quite well in the book, constructed quite well. She feels real. You get everything, all her feelings, all her emotions. You get a sense of her trauma from having her mother vanish all those years ago and what it means to her now even. Her life's a bit of a mess. We see that in the book. We're told that in the book. And we're told that quite blatantly sometimes. The character herself talks about herself as being a mess time and time again in the book. So you can't miss it. But she's very complex. You see how her life's been changed from what happened in her past. You see how it affects what she does now, her actions, her choices, how she feels about herself and life in general. You get all that in this book. Violet, who was the victim in this book, and even though I didn't like the past chapters with those POVs, we get a lot of POV from Violet in this story. And I'm not sure what Sue Grafton was going for in this book with the character Violet. I'm not sure if she was trying to tell us that it was Violet's fault what happened to her. It was because Violet acted in a certain way, did certain things in her past. She was promiscuous a bit in the story as well. She wanted her own life, and you can see she was trying to get out of her marriage a bit in her past storyline and the struggle with that. And all the things in this book Violet does, it feels like it's presented in quite a negative way. And I don't know if that was Sue Grafton's intention. It felt like Sue Grafton was trying to tell the reader Violet caused her own demise. That's what it felt like. And I didn't enjoy that. Violet as a character is described very well though. You can see she's a bit reckless at times. You can see she's a firecracker. She's got this big zest for life though as well. She wants the best for herself. And she just wants to have fun, it seems, in this book. She wants more than what this small town can offer. It feels like her personality is bigger than the small town. You get all that in this story. So as a character, I did enjoy Violet in this book. I thought she was very honest. I thought she was very genuine. I thought everything about her felt real. Tanny is the friend of Kinsey's who tells her about this other friend who needs help. I do enjoy Tanny in this book. She feels genuine. She feels real. She feels like a real person actually in the story. And she feels like she cares for people as well. She's got a past as well. She's got her own problems and her own things going on. And that's brought about in this book and described a bit as well. And that makes her feel more real, more rounded. And she just feels like a bit of fun as well in the book. You get the sense that Kinsey and Tanny really get along. They could be really good friends in this story. And I hope that happens. I hope Tanny stays in this series for a bit longer. Even though I enjoyed the mystery itself was strong. And the characters were strong, of course, in this book. It's the structure of the book. Those past chapters with POVs from different characters in the past ruined part of the read for me and pulled me out of the story. It also pulled me out of the Kinsey character as well a bit, and didn't allow me to really dive into the investigation so much with Kinsey as I do in other books in the series. And for that, I rate this a 3 out of 5. It's not my favourite book in the series, but it is better than average, just better than average in my view. And I just don't know why that structure change happened. I do prefer these books when it's all Kinsey's POV. I don't like POVs from other characters in the investigation in the book. I don't think it adds anything to the book, especially when the POVs are from the past. How can POVs from the past add anything to how Kinsey sees the case in the present day? It just doesn't make sense. There's no connection there. Unless Kinsey's finding out information in the present day storyline, finding out clues, or talking to people and getting information from people in conversations, it adds nothing to the story, nothing to the investigation. On my channel, I review a lot of mysteries. If you like mysteries, check out my channel and subscribe. Also on my channel, there's a Sue Grafton playlist. It should be on your screen now.